Hello everyone, it's Adam here. Today we are traversing the high plains of Montana as we head over to South Dakota. Beautiful countryside. We're atop 2024 R1300GS Adventure. And today, my bike is obsolete. BMW yesterday announced the R1300GS Adventure. It comes one model year after the R1300GS that you've all perused over, and at the core, the two bikes are identical. You know, they share the frame, they share the motor, they share a lot of similarities, and I've been asked, I guess obviously, I woke up this morning to a bunch of questions from people. Hey, when are you going to talk about the new bike? Is that really the new bike? Is that... I got a photo of my friend of it, and I replied to him this morning. I said, is this some like artist rendering of the new motorcycle? He's like, no, it's the real thing. It was just announced. The first thing I did is email my salesman, John at Max BMW, and say, I'll take you up on that 7-year warranty extension for my bike. I shit you not, it's the first thing I did after I read the specs. I had said to Heather, you know, the only buyer's remorse I was going to have, this was my sort of wish list. And let's brass tacks it, man. I got a lot of comments dancing around what I paid for this bike, and I want to brass tax it right now. I paid, I think, 22-ish for this bike, 22.5. That's all in. That's everything. That's tax, stocks fee, everything. And I ended up getting, I think, 1.9% or 2.9% interest over like 40 months or 36 months or something. So I got a fantastic deal on this bike. This bike lists for 27.8, 27.9, somewhere around there. So I saved like 20% or 15% off the sticker, and I'm stoked. I love this motorcycle, and so I was talking to Heather about what it would take for me to feel buyer's remorse on not waiting for the privilege, the hard privilege of paying MSRP, straight sticker or markup for an R1300GS Adventure later this year. Was I going to have regrets of taking this trip with my R1200GS Rosie, the one that this bike replaced, and not have waited for a spanking new 1300 GSA later this year? And my wish list was as follows. Larger fuel tank. I wanted to go to 32, 33 liters of fuel. Hey, that's my wish list, not yours. Because I ride, by the way, I ride a full tank before I stop. I fill up, I ride a full tank, I stop, I pee, I get some water, I fill it up, I do it again. That's the way I do road trips. So I'll do 600, 800, 900 mile days where I stop and fill up 2 or 3 times. If I stop and fill up 5 times, I'd rob a bank or something. I'd be pissed. The other day I fill this thing up and saw 375 miles of range, and I'm like, perfect, I'll see you in 5 hours, 6 hours. That's the way I ride. Second, I wanted better fuel economy when you're not on it. I want a little bit better fuel economy. I know that displacement went up, but I wanted higher fuel economy. I wanted to shave 50 pounds. And remember, the 1300GS did shave a considerable amount of weight from its predecessor. I wanted the 11-inch plus TFT screen from the R18, the RT, and the K16, not K16, the RT and the R18. Because the GS Adventure would have more space for more screen. And finally, I wanted a more mature or extreme lighting package. I wanted BMW to take on Denali and Clearwater head on and say, we're going to give you guys the Safari lights or the Baja light package, and it's going to be loaded with LEDs from the factory with an extra button that you could have without an installer share. That's what I wanted. I didn't get any of that. And let's take a step back here. Let's do a 20-minute video. I'm sorry in advance. First off, design. I match the, I don't like the R1300GS's design. Don't like it. A lot of the weight savings came from dropping that steel tubular trellis frame. Don't like that. I like the frame that we have. A lot of the savings came from, the way they redid the transmission and changed the configuration. Don't like that. I like the pulleys and the clutch and everything in the front of the bike like it is in the 1250. I like that. I don't want underneath. I don't need to buy a lift to drop a clutch pack. I don't like the exhaust design. I don't like the headlight design. There's a lot I don't like about the R1300GS. They brought all that over to the Adventure. Of course they did, because that's the base bike. But they also gave what I would say, like, it looks from the Hummer EV, how it's like a super kind of rocky looking masculine package. I don't like how the Hummer EV looks. And that's what the GS Adventure looks like. It looks like a Hummer EV. Now, I'm not looking for, Italian designs from Germany. Germany does their own thing. I don't think the R1300GS Adventure, hell, the R1150GS. They're ugly bikes. But what I didn't want is the rock crawler special of what they gave us the GS Adventure, where everything is hard edged. The only design of the Adventure that I love is those 3 loop mounts for tank bags. I love that. You can mount anything. You can get a military bag, 20-liter military bag with molly webbing, and you can just strap it to those things. So nice. You can mount any bag you want to on top of that new R1300GS Adventure. That's super cool. But everything else about the design, I'm not a fan. Will I own one day? Of course I will. In 5, 6, 7 years, I will own a bike that looks like that. Of course. I'm not going to give them the platform. And BMW knows that. They know that GS owners just replace their GS with another GS. And if you really, I would say the R1300GS Adventure looks to be a direct copy, the front 40%, a direct copy of the Pan America. Looks like a Pan America. And if you think about the fuel tank size, 7.5 gallons, they've hid that 7.5 gallons really well, because the Pan America has a small tank thanks to the way the V-twin comes up, that V-twin Max, whatever it's called, it's Revolution engine. So good job BMW on putting a lot of shit into a small package, but sorry, but I think it looks like a Pan America. Now, this is kind of design related. They integrated the nano LED lights, auxiliary lights in there. Good job. They have chosen to retain the R1300GS handguard turn signals. However, luckily, you can, if you option your bike with the Enduro package, you can get the turn signals relocated back to the lower fork. Not lower fork, but the fairing. So the Enduro package option on the R1300GS Adventure is going to take the hand signals off of these guys and put them on the body of the bike. Thank God. Because I always replace my handguards with bigger, larger handguards, think Barkbuster Storm or the Torotex Aventuros or the Machino Motos. I don't want to be banging my freaking handguards against a bush. I mean, I've been riding bush, 2-track encroached bush all week in the Yukon and have hidden these things. I don't want to take out a turn signal that I need for safety while hitting a bush. And so good job BMW for doing that. However, the Enduro package does not eliminate the lane guidance, the blind spot detection into the mirrors. So if you want to replace your mirrors, you're going to lose that. I have no idea if you're going to throw a code by taking your mirrors off. I don't want the OEM mirrors. And so I wish they had not copied Ducati in that regard, and they had instead just let us have dumb mirrors and put the blind spot detection somewhere in the TFT. A good opportunity, by the way, to put a larger TFT on the thing, because larger TFT, more room for stuff like that. Let's talk about some of the tech they've done. I'm going to save the shift assist for last. I think the 1300 is a brilliant motor. I don't like what they've done with the transmission design. It has lowered the COG, or the center of gravity, but I don't like they've relocated to the bottom of the bike. I do think that they've made some good choices on the way the engine's designed. But the problem I have is the exhaust design, the way it's all packaged I don't like, but the actual engine itself is awesome. And it's actually lighter than its predecessor, has a lot more power, but the same fuel economy as the R1300GS Adventure. And I get, between 39 and 52 miles per gallon, depending on fully loaded, doing 80 miles an hour on the highway, et cetera, et cetera. I'm fine with that. I know the fuel economy of the 1250, go to 1300. The engine braking is super cool. It's adjustable, which is nice. Kind of like how much resistance do you want when you go up the throttle. So in Duro Pro, it's minimal, and in road or in eco mode, it's like extreme. And you can dial it back, which is super nice with the ride mode, as long as you get a premium package. Of course, I'm glad they brought the forged wheels over. I personally would still opt for spoked wheels. I like that spokes, you can actually tension them, adjust them. They're easier to true the wheels. They get bent or out of true. The forged wheels are stronger. I just don't trust them yet. I know they're lighter. I know they're stronger. But I think they're probably $3 or $4 grand a piece. And once they are bent, they're done. Whereas a spoked wheel, you can still have some configurability to them. So, it goes like this, mag wheel, forged wheel, or spoked wheel, forged wheel. I still would go spoked wheel, even though it's the less cool, less hard option, purely for reliability long term. The decision, before I go to the shifting, the 6.5-inch TFT has been around since 2018 model year bikes. My wife's F750 has it. My R1200 had it. The RT and the R18 have it in larger configurations. I thought the Adventure model was going to go 11-inch because that would show this is the premium touring model. Let's give you the bigger TFT with the 3D map that the R18 and the RT has. I'm really disappointed they didn't do that. That would have been the biggest for me for buyer's remorse, and I'm really surprised they didn't take that extra space and pull the screen a little bit above the motorized windshield and give you that. It's a missed opportunity. I think that if you want an R1300GS Adventure, wait till a mid-cycle refresh for that larger TFT screen, because it's coming. It's going to come eventually. The GS Adventure is a touring bike, and I don't know what BMW was thinking why they didn't go for the 11-inch. It would have been a really big, it would have been a big sort of indicator of, hey, big tank, larger pegs, larger windscreen, spoked wheels, bigger, and big screen. Didn't do it. I feel like when you look at the engine drag and you look at the radar cruise control and all the other things that are going on with TFT, that 6.5 inch is getting really busy when you get a bike that's fully loaded with features. And so, oh well, BMW, you would have gotten my serious buyer's remorse with that. On to the automatic shifting. Good, do it, whatever. My issue is this. The only issue I have, by the way, is that in America, every single showroom floor bike is a premium bike. I assume BMW NA or BMW North America is going to work on a launch package of fully loaded bikes. They're going to have it. But we'll give dealers a choice to option a premium minus. So like sometimes you can do premium minus ESA, premium minus lighting package, or premium minus heated seat. And so I hope that there will be, in areas of the country of the Northeast where adventure riding is more popular, there will be premium minus ASA, the automatic shift assist, bikes that come to the States. Because there's a lot of people that are going to walk into a dealer expecting a bike, I mean, screw us, right? Expecting a bike that has a clutch, a manual clutch, excuse me. And being surprised when they go test drive every bike that dealer has, the 1300 GSA, and finding that every bike doesn't have a clutch lever. And they're going to walk out being like, well, I wanted one, but where's my clutch lever? And so here's the thing. Here's what I think. I don't dislike clutch levers, excuse me, there's the clutch. I don't dislike the quick shifter. I don't dislike automatic transmissions versus manual transmissions. It's all preference. If I can ride off-road and I can navigate rocks and streams and modulate the power properly and do it with finesse and control and confidence, minus a clutch lever, okay, sell me the bike with ASA. I'm cool with it. I'm okay with it. I've ridden with enough guys on Alpha Twins off-road, hard off-road, with DCT, they're fine. They always say it took a little getting used to, some caveats. You kind of have to keep on the throttle so it won't downshift or upshift, etc. You have to kind of feather it, but it never stalls. That's a good thing. The power is usually where you want to, as long as you're in the right riding mode. There's a few caveats and a few lessons learned there. They get used to it, but ultimately, all DCT did to them was add weight and cost. But the riding experience is not better or worse. It's not even simplified. It's just the same. I've been running with a Recluse on my Husqvarna 701 and my Beta 500 for years. It's fine. It's okay. I still have to pull the clutch lever to shift, but it's fine. So with ASA, I don't think a demo ride is going to tell me if ASA is going to work for me or not. I think getting a GS Adventure on the rough terrain is going to tell me if it's for me or not. Resale value-wise, I think for the next decade, people are going to want a bike that has a clutch lever for resale value. And so when I think through my eventual purchase of the 1300 GSA 7 years from now, I'm 50-50 on thinking about if I want a clutch lever or not on that bike. Resale value probably won't matter by then. I assume every adventure bike will be clutch leverless as long as you spec it up. It won't be like having a bike without LED headlight or having a bike without ESA. It'll be like having a bike that is manual versus automatic transmission. So like I can sell you a BMW M3 or a Golf R or a GTI with an automatic or a manual transmission. And it's just about finding the right kind of buyer. Half people want a manual, half people want automatic. You have enough buyers in each camp where it won't make a difference on moving that bike as quickly or as fast as slow as you need it to. There'll just be preferences out there. But I don't think an overall amount of people in 7 to 10 years are going to care enough where having an automatic or a manual is going to keep you from selling that bike. The automatic might net you a few more bucks. And if the automatic ends up being a a maintenance nightmare, then maybe we'll have a different conversation. But for now, I would say buy what you want to buy. But if you are a motorcycle rider who is doing this kind of riding, touring, you don't need a clutch lever. You don't. It's great to have one. I love having one. I don't need one. I can get the 0 to 60 with or without one. Doesn't matter. I care about clutch lever, just like my Recluse bikes, for modulating torque when in technical situations and knowing that I, the rider, fully control the power of that rear wheel 0 to 100%. I am in complete ownership of that torque. And the ASA takes that away from me. Yes, there's a manual mode, but there is not a torque modulation mode. There is no lever that is hydraulically powered that gives me the power to modulate torque. And I think that's going to be a really difficult proposition for off-road riders, and especially for off-road instructors. You guys are going to have a bitch of a time in 10 years going through all your class, if you don't rent bikes, all your class shows up to your course, and you have to separate the guys that have ASA versus not ASA, because the ASA people are going to have a completely different kind of instruction over people that can modulate their clutch. Your clutch feathering conversation goes out the window. That's going to be hard for instructors. And I would actually like to see how Performance Center teaches that, because they'll be teaching the BMW Enduro way of riding with ASA. All their bikes will be ASA bikes in 5 or 6 years. So it's going to be interesting saying to people, oh yeah, you had a clutch? Well, we'll teach you how to ride off-road with that one, and you're going to go back home with your clutch. It's going to be clutch lever. I'm sorry. These bikes have clutches, but they don't have power. Anyway, that's enough on that topic. Let's see how it goes. I just hope there are premium minus bikes that are spec'd in the US that allow folks to choose. Just like I hope that the premium bikes, some of them are spoked, some of them are forged. I don't want to have to order a bike from a dealer and wait and pay a sticker when I could buy one off the showroom floor and get a discount. And I'll be bummed when that showroom bike is ASA and forged wheels. Once again, for you early adopters, Cal, the issue you're going to have for a couple of years, there's no crash bars to the adventure, there's no boxes for the adventure, there's no tank bags for it. I know that manufacturers right now are scrambling to design things around bikes they can't buy yet. If you're buying one now for a winter modification project to ride next summer, you just don't. The suspension is brand new. There's no aftermarket suspension. The 1300GS suspension is having failures. They can't get parts for them in time. We don't know how strong the forged wheels are. We still don't know how strong the frames are. There's no luggage options. It's going to be a while before the aftermarket catches up. And so I still think, unless you have to own the latest and greatest, now is the time to buy a 2024 GSA. Maybe August. August is the time to buy a 2024 GSA for $1,000 less than I paid. Get that thing home and mod the shit out of it and enjoy it. Oh, the very last thing too, I want to mention about the new GSA 1300. Oh, two things actually. First, it's going to be quieter on the road. The design flaw that's carried over from the 2012 liquid-cooled GSs is this big cavernous gap. And the gap is designed at an angle. Okay, I know all motorcycles have this, but the GS and GSA specifically have the way that it's designed. Everyone that has a GS or GSA liquid-cooled 1200, 1250 complains about tire noise. It's not the tire. It's the design of this funnel. It funnels sound up to our ears, like directly. And it's a design flaw of the motorcycle, not of the tires. I think BMW solved it with 1300. That cavern is very narrow. It allows for full lock, of course it does, of the steering handlebars. But I think this is going to be a very quiet motorcycle to ride. The wind protection looks actually very similar to the 1150 Aeroflow. Remember Aeroflow? 1150 early 1200 oil-cooled Aeroflow windshields that came with that those winglets. It looks very similar to the Aeroflow design windscreens of like 10, 12 years ago, which is awesome. With the electronic power windshield, cool, whatever. But I think that opening is going to be really quiet, and you're going to love how it sounds when you're riding on. You're going to be in a little gold wing bubble, and it's going to be awesome. Last thing is weight. What the hell? I also had if this thing shaped 50 pounds, I'm going to be pissed. It didn't. It got 3 pounds heavier without any gain in fuel storage. I don't understand. The GS shaved significant weight, like what, 20, 25 pounds? And the Adventure adds 2 or 3 pounds? BMW, what did you do? Is the ASA hardware that heavy? What did BMW do to add weight? I don't understand. The only regret I had, literally, other than spending 22 grand, the only regret I had about going from, let's go way back, 1200 oil cooled. I have 1200 oil cooled GSA. going to 1200 GSA liquid cooled, it got heavier and the fuel tank got smaller. And so my oil cooled had a higher range than my liquid cooled. But even with 1200 GSA liquid cooled to 1250 GSA, it got heavier again. But the increased fuel economy with this shift cam allowed me to get back my old fuel economy. If you guys know me, iron buttoning up here, riding all day like an asshole without stopping. I love going from 294 to 325 range on the move from, it's my average range, 294 to 325, going from 1200 GSA liquid cooled to 1250 GSA. It's back to my like oil cooled days in range, by having the same fuel tank as my my 2018 GSA. And yet we have a 1300 GSA, modern tech, new emissions. It just sucks sometimes. And I believe a smaller tank. Did we go from like 7.7 gallons, 7.5 gallons? I don't know the liter. I didn't expect it, but I have a 30-liter tank. I think it went down a little bit. So you have a smaller tank, the same fuel economy, and it gained 3 pounds. I'm not programmed with 3 pounds. I'm going to shoot out 3 pounds. I wanted to lose 20 pounds, not gain 3 pounds. I can't. I'm blown away. Where did the weight come from? Final thing is, and we don't know this yet, price. A fully spec R1300GS 719 exclusive edition in that beautiful green paint. Isn't that $29,500? Almost 30 grand, 31, 32 grand with tax and fees and, you know, destination charges. F. I'm trying to curse this video. F. That means to tell me that we're going to have an R1300GS Adventure that starts at 24, and it's going to cost 32, fully spec'd. Now BMW sells $32,000 bikes. They're R18 Transcontinental. They're K1600. These are $32,000 bikes. $35,000 bikes if you go 719 package with a beautiful like speckled paint or cosmic galaxy dust paint. But the GSA is going to cost 30 grand, cross that 30 grand threshold easily with premium and enduro package without any special paint. At a time when we have really high interest rates. And here's all I'm saying. If you shop around, like Go Cycle Trader, nationwide, R1250GS Adventure, premium, lowest price, new, shop around, you can get one for 22 to 24K all day long. And even easier if you wait until the 1300 GSA starts hitting floors and the 1250s are still sticking around. Is the 1300 GS Adventure that's heavier, that probably has a lower range, that looks like a Hummer EV, that doesn't have a clutch lever, that has a newfangled transmission that we don't know how easy it is to work on yet, that has a brand new motor, has a brand new suspension that I've seen failures of without parts available, that has no aftermarket parts, that has a lot more tech and things like turn signals and mirrors that you can't replace, electronic windscreens, radar cruise control, everything new. Is that worth $10,000 more than the bike that's sitting on a showroom right now that wants you to buy it with special interest pricing of like 1.99%? You're a cash buyer or whatever, but you get my point. Interest costs money. A 3%, 4% interest bike, which is a great interest rate right now, usually they're 6 or 7 if you're just going to credit unions. Interest on this bike, 2% interest, is like $1,800. I think I'm paying in interest. That's real cash being stolen from you. So financing 32 grand at 5-6% interest, tack on $5,000 in interest. is that bike worth 10 to 15 grand more than the bike on showrooms right now? My answer is no. That's my opinion on the new bike. I don't think it's ugly. I don't think it's unrideable. I don't think it's a shit bike. I think it's a brilliant bike. I think it's going to be awesome. They're going to sell tons of them. And they're going to refine it. They're going to work out the kinks. And they're going to eventually offer deals on them. Where I can get one for 25, 26 grand. But I don't think you should buy one now. I think you should buy one in 3 years. That's my 20-minute long video on the new R1300GS Adventure. I have zero buyer's remorse. I say $10,000 got the perfect bike for me with the steel trellis frame, tubular frame. Everything I love about this bike is here. I can work on it. All of my sparkles moved over. I got a great interest rate on it because it's a last model year bike. I love this motorcycle. And so I have 0% buyer's remorse. And I hope that you'll watch this video and make an informed decision. If you have an R1300GS Adventure, stick with it. Wait 5 more years and enjoy it. And call your dealer and ask them about adding your 7-year warranty to your bike, because stuff's too expensive. I think my quote was like $850 or $900 for a 7-year warranty with a $200 deductible outside of the manufacturer warranty. That's great. Do that, and for your peace of mind, you can ride your bike and enjoy it. And just know that if you upgrade, you're going to pay a lot more money for a heavier bike with less range. All right, everyone, thanks for watching. Appreciate it. Here from beautiful Montana. Back to your regularly scheduled Adam Chandler programming. Take care.